Hello and welcome to today's Facebook Live. I have Shelley here with me and myself, Carrie, from the Health Shift Project. And today we want to talk about self-care and what we do to help ground ourselves during a time of transition. The theme of the month for September has been transition. So we want to talk about what we do for self-care to help ground ourselves during time of transitions. While we talk, we would love to hear your thoughts. What do you do to help ground yourself? And what self-care things you do. And if you're really struggling, let us know. Let us know and reach out to us, and we'd love to offer some support if we can. So Shelley, I would love to pass it on to you first and know what you do for self-care to ground during transition.
Thanks, Carrie. So I start right away when I wake up in the morning. I start my day every morning with a warm grounding food. I prefer oatmeal or steel-cut oats, and I usually do them in my rice maker overnight. There are lots of ways you can do them in your slow cooker too, but I like to start with a warm grounding food every morning. And then from there, another thing I just love to do every morning, it's this Ayurvedic massage, which is called Abhyanga, and it uses a warm oil. And it's really great for like lymph drainage, for just circulation through the body. And it's also great for stress. So it's a great way to kind of just almost nurture myself in the morning. And it's quick 5 minutes. I just warm the oil under the hot water, put it in my hand, and you just kind of massage on your joints and kind of draw towards your center for lymph node drainage. And it just, if I don't do it, if I miss it in a day, I really can feel it throughout my day that I just haven't taken that time for self-care in the morning. And then I also remind myself in the day when I start with that, when I'm kind of feeling a little bit overwhelmed or lots of change going around me, I can just take a moment and even just reminding myself with a gentle like massage of my joints in my hand, my wrists. I just kind of come back to that time that I took for myself, and it kind of just calms me down and grounds me. So you can do Ayurvedic massage. It depends what your dosha is, if you are familiar with that. But sesame oil is kind of a general one that most people use for the massage. And it's just a nice way to kind of get your blood flowing in the morning and warm up the joints a little bit. And then throughout the day, especially right now, the transition from summer to fall, the fall season where it's really windy and gray, I really like to eat a lot of warm, soft foods, root vegetables. So I make a lot of soups and stews through the season, which I think is really common for people in this season in fall. But I just find it just kind of helps me to feel a little bit more grounded eating warm foods and warm when it's really cold and windy out. And the other thing I do is, obviously I'm a yoga teacher, so I do yoga in the morning. But sometimes when we're busy, like my son is back to school, my husband's back to teaching, I have to rush and get Riley to school before I teach in the morning. So what yoga can be is just sitting down and taking 10 deep breaths. Just taking that time to just slow down for a moment, get centered. And then from there, I'm so much more effective in my day if I start centered and grounded. If I start read the news, drinking coffee, already getting wound up to start my day, I can just tell you that the rest of my day is going to look like that too, where if I can start in a grounding or centering mood or in a mind space where I'm feeling centered, then I can handle a lot more of the transitions around me in the day. So yeah, those are a few things that I do for myself to kind of keep me grounded and centered with transitions. So what about you? I know you like to do yoga every morning too. So
I do for sure. Yeah. But I have a question for you first.
Yeah.
When you're saying like the Ayurvedic massage, I know I said that wrong, but and you said you do your lymph kind of lymph nodes in your chest.
So the way it works is there are videos online too you can watch for this, but if you want to do it yourself, like you can actually get an Ayurvedic massage, and basically what they'll do is choose the oil they're going to use on you, and they'll put certain essential oils maybe in it as well. But so I start with my hands basically, and I kind of massage in the center, massage all my joints and all the little nodes in my hands and fingers. And then you kind of move up your arm and you kind of circle around your joints, and you're drawing towards center for lymph node drainage.
Right.
So you draw in and then you can kind of massage through this area.
Okay.
And then you rub from your armpit in towards center. So most of it's in towards center. Then you do a clockwise motion on your belly for digestion. And then up the feet, you're drawing up a ways towards your center. And that's kind of like a lymph drainage as you draw up towards center. So some days I don't have time and I just do my upper body if I'm kind of, no, I have to drive my son to school very quickly. Yeah. But if you can spend the whole time starting from the feet, and again, everywhere, just a warm circle around joints, just kind of warms them up a little bit. It's lovely. I'm telling you, everyone should do it.
In order to do it, you don't have to like be too particular, like it. And I mean, of course, obviously it's better knowing that stuff, but even if you just want to get the self benefit,
about getting your blood flowing, getting circulation moving in your body, warming the joints. Like that's basically what you want to focus on. And just the one thing in particular is around the abdomen. Unless you have like irritable bowel, you always want to move clockwise on the abdomen. If you do have irritable bowel, sometimes they suggest counterclockwise, but just it's a gentle, you're not pressing hard. It's just a gentle circular motion on your belly. And that's to help get digestion going for your day. So
right. Yeah. I do that one. And because I love Qigong, and I know in the Qigong things that I do that one. And I love that one.
Yeah. It just feels nice to take that time. Yeah, that time for yourself too. Like it's 5 minutes. It basically takes me 5 minutes, even when I do a full body one. It's just like, I just actually feel more energized after, because it does get your blood flowing. It does get, your joints warmed up, and you just feel like much more fluid moving after you do it and much more energized. So yeah.
I love it. I'll play around with that. Thank you.
So tell me about your yoga practice in the morning. I know, you're pretty disciplined, and I respect that. You're pretty disciplined in the morning.
I am. So when I was thinking, gee, what things do I do for self-care to ground during transition? I'm a very routine person. So for me, I have my self-care practices into my routine, and I have to have that. And that's great. So working out in the morning for sure, and then stretching afterwards, and then different times throughout my day doing some like a meditation, and then I like evening yoga too, to kind of unwind and let go of my day. So and then walking my dog, that's another big But those are already a part of my everyday routine, and I need them to be routine for me, because that's just, that works for me. But when I was thinking about this, like for times that, transition, that it's more stressful, and what happens for me is my brain goes a million miles a minute, and I could do my workouts and not be present, or do my yoga or meditation, but the whole time I'm doing my yoga, my mind's going, and I'm not getting the full benefit from it. So for me, during a transition or extra stressful time, it's all mind stuff, and it's a lot of self-talk, and I have to do this continually throughout the day, and it's hard because I can easily get myself wound up when things are really stressful. So a lot of self-talk, and I say to myself a lot of times, Carrie, you're okay. It's okay. Hand over, and I didn't even think about that until I was doing that. Like, I put my hand over my heart. It's okay. It's okay. And I'll say, Carrie, I love you. Like, I do that a lot during stressful times. I love you, Carrie. I love you. And then another mantra I like, because again, when I get myself really busy, it's usually sometimes, work related. And another mantra that I love is, I'm doing enough. I have enough. I am enough. And I'll kind of, if my trigger is a busy mind from my to-do list, I like that mantra. So just positive, gentle self-talk really works. And then I'm also very careful about what I allow in.
Mhm.
You know, so I'm careful about how much news I watch or the people that I spend time with, the conversations that we have. Like I'm very careful on
Right.
what, because my mind is going, like, you know, if I know certain things going to trigger me, and then I'm not going to be able to sleep that night because my mind is going, right? Like, let's avoid. Yeah. So I'm careful about how much I take in.
You just reminded me of one thing actually I do for myself too, actually, as you were talking there. And when I'm feeling really overwhelmed in a time of change, or like when things are going on around me, I actually sit and I think about what I need to take out of my life. So that could be social media is one. Like if I'm starting to feel very overwhelmed, especially right now, I think in transitions, obviously, like moving, job loss, even transition of seasons, kids going back to school, any type of move, transition, whether it's big or small. When I start to feel overwhelmed in it, I sit and think, okay, what can I take out and be at work? Maybe it's work, maybe it's something I'm eating, like takeaway coffee if I'm feeling like I get jittery from drinking coffee, or it's, something that I can take away that gives me a little bit more space where I can sit and find a little bit of calm. So I do think that's one thing I didn't think of before, but as you're talking, I realize it's something I subconsciously do is I sit and think, what do I need to take away to create more space for me to be a little bit more calm, to handle the extra stuff coming my way.
Yes. And that makes me think how I go about my day too, is sometimes when I look at my to-do list, like especially if I'm already feeling stressed and I look at my to-do list, I'll like, what really needs to get done today, and kind of one, maybe two things that have to get done. And then the rest is kind of like let go. And I have to continually do that self-talk throughout. But if I know, okay, get that one thing done, and then that helps, and say, there, you did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So wonderful. I hope we gave you guys some tidbits and new tools. In the Health Shift Project, what we're offering is a lot of tools on self-care and grounding principles and so on. So we'd love for you to become a part of the Health Shift Project membership site if you're not already. In the month of October, we're going to talk about grief, helping to support through grief. And it could be, yes, a loss of a loved one. When we think of grief, that's kind of the first thing we think of. But it can be, loss of a job. It goes well, I think, with transition, because sometimes often in a transition, there can be grief. So it flows so nicely grief and offering some more support tools that way. Also in October is our last month to take advantage of our introductory offer. So we hope that you will check that out at thehealthshiftproject.com. Check out our introductory offer. Please don't miss out to join us. And thanks so much for being here today and watching us. Much love to you from me. Bye.